Chapter 1. First Encounters with English. I grew up in a small town where English was rarely spoken. Most people spoke our native language, and English seemed distant and unnecessary. My first encounter with English was in elementary school. We had English classes, but I found them difficult and confusing. The words sounded strange, and the grammar made no sense to me. In those early days, I remember sitting in the classroom, feeling lost and frustrated. My teacher would speak English, and I would struggle to understand even the simplest sentences. My classmates seemed to catch on quickly, but I felt like I was always a step behind. I often wondered if I would ever be able to learn this foreign language. Chapter 2. The Spark of Motivation. As I grew older, I began to understand the importance of English. Many movies, songs, and books that I loved were in English. I wanted to travel and communicate with people from different countries. English was the key to these dreams. One day, I made a decision. I would learn English, no matter how difficult it seemed. I set simple goals for myself. I wanted to be able to greet people, introduce myself, and ask basic questions in English. These goals were small but achievable, and they gave me a sense of direction. I knew that learning English would take time and effort, but I was determined to succeed. Chapter 3. Finding the Secret Method. One day, while browsing the internet for tips on learning English, I came across a blog by a language enthusiast. The author, Benny Lewis, shared his experiences of learning multiple languages quickly and effectively. His approach was different from the traditional methods I had learned in school. He emphasized the importance of immersion and consistent practice. Benny's method was simple. Surround yourself with English as much as possible and use it every day. He suggested watching English movies, listening to English music, reading English books, and speaking in English as much as possible. This method sounded exciting and doable, so I decided to give it a try. Chapter 4. The Method Explained. The first step was to immerse myself in English. I changed the language settings on my phone and computer to English. I started watching English movies and TV shows, even though I couldn't understand everything at first. I listened to English songs and tried to sing along, focusing on the words and their meanings. Speaking was a big challenge for me. I felt shy and worried about making mistakes. But Benny's advice was clear: don't be afraid to speak. Mistakes are part of the learning process. I started by talking to myself in English, describing my day, or narrating my actions. Gradually, I gained more confidence. To expand my vocabulary, I used simple flashcards. I wrote down new words and their meanings and reviewed them daily. This helped me remember new words and use them in sentences. I also practiced writing short paragraphs in English, which improved my grammar and writing skills. Chapter 5. Facing Challenges. The journey was not easy. There were times when I felt stuck and frustrated. I hit several plateaus where my progress seemed to slow down. During these times, I questioned whether the method was working and if I should continue. But I reminded myself that learning a language takes time and persistence. There were also external challenges. Some of my friends and family didn't understand why I was putting so much effort into learning English. They thought it was unnecessary. Balancing my studies, work, and language practice was difficult. There were days when I felt exhausted and tempted to give up, but each time I overcame a hurdle, my confidence grew. I learned to celebrate small victories, like understanding a new phrase or holding a conversation without reverting to my native language. These moments kept me motivated. Chapter 6. Breakthrough Moments. I remember the first time I had a full conversation in English without feeling nervous. It was with a language exchange partner from Canada. We talked about our favorite books, and I realized I could express my thoughts clearly and understand her responses. This was a huge milestone for me. Another breakthrough moment was when I received an email from a potential employer in English. Instead of panicking, I composed a reply confidently and secured an interview. Although I was nervous, I managed to communicate effectively during the interview and eventually got the job. These moments reinforced the effectiveness of my method and motivated me to continue. My friends and family started noticing my progress and became more supportive. I felt proud of my achievements and excited about the future. Chapter 7. Using English in Everyday Life. With my newfound confidence and skills, I began using English in various aspects of my life. At work, I handled emails and reports in English, participated in meetings with international colleagues, and even gave presentations. My ability to communicate effectively in English opened up new opportunities for career growth. I also started traveling more. During a trip to the United States, I navigated through airports, ordered food, asked for directions, and made new friends, all in English. These experiences were incredibly rewarding and further solidified my belief in the power of immersion and consistent practice. Chapter 8. Reflecting on the Journey. Looking back, I am amazed at how far I've come. What seemed like an insurmountable challenge is now a skill I use daily. The journey taught me that perseverance and the right methods can make a significant difference. I learned to embrace mistakes as part of the learning process and to stay committed even when progress seemed slow. I want to share my story and my secret with others who are struggling with learning English. If I can do it, anyone can. The key is to immerse yourself in the language, practice consistently, and find ways to make learning enjoyable. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about making progress. My English learning journey transformed not only my language skills, but also my confidence and outlook on life. It opened doors to new opportunities, friendships, and experiences. I hope my story inspires others to pursue their language learning goals with determination and an open mind. To those embarking on this journey, I encourage you to find your own secret method, stay persistent, and enjoy the process. The rewards are worth the effort. Happy learning!